Welcome back. Today we will continue our discussion on the anatomical feature of the heart. External structure of heart. See, I already told its location and other details. Okay, let's today talk about external structure of the heart. If once you look at the external structure of the heart, first we will see the what are the features or what are the important features that you find externally. Once you view the heart externally, what are the structure? See, we know that heart is divided four chamber, two atrium and two ventricles, and this part, this I call as a right. See, heart is divided into four chambers, two atrium and two ventricles. So this is a right auricle, and this is the left auricle. So right and left auricles. Point number one here. Why we call, what is the difference? We say that atrium, sometimes we use the word atrium, sometimes we use the word auricle. See, when we talk about the external structure of the heart, then we have to use the terminology right auricle. Right auricle. When you are speaking right auricle means you are referring to the external part of the atrium. Right auricle. See, which you find on this right auricle, this is like having a wrinkle-like structure here on the right auricle. A wrinkle-like structure. See, like this. This is a right auricle. Right auricle, and here this part is a ventricle. So left ventricle and right ventricle. And how you can differentiate right and left ventricle here means by observing the boundaries here like this. You found the boundaries. See, if once you look at the heart, already I told you that the shape of the heart is pear shape, or we can say a roughly a conical shape. See, this part of the heart we call as a base of the heart, and this is the apex of the heart. Apex of the heart. See, the apex of the, this is slightly tilted towards the left side, and the apex of the heart is get attached with the fibrous. That means we know that heart is enclosed in the pericardium. The outermost surface of the pericardium is fibrous, made up of fibrous tissue. It's a fibrous pericardium. Fibrous pericardium at the apex region, partially it get attached to the diaphragm. That means this is the apex of the heart. And this part is the base of the heart. Base of the heart and apex of the heart. Apex of the heart is situated, or it's lodged in the cardiac notch. Cardiac notch of the left lung. In the left lung, in the inferior lobe, you find the notch. In that notch, this apex will lodge into that notch, right? So this is what you call the base and the apex. Now, as we know that heart is made up of four chambers, two atrium, these are the atrium, and here is the ventricle. Ventricle, that means atrium and ventricle. Externally, you can find a groove here. You say this is the groove. Externally, you find this groove. This groove indicates the boundaries between the atrium and the ventricle. And this groove I call as, this is a transverse groove, which I call as coronary sulcus. This groove I call as a coronary sulcus. This is a transverse groove, which marks the boundary between the atrium and the ventricle. Now, this atrium, when I refer the external structure, I use the word here auricle. This is the right auricle, and this will be the left auricle. Why the name has been given auricle here? See, for the atrium, we are using the other terminology. When we are talking about the external structure, we are using the other terminology. Instead of atrium, I am using the word here auricle. This point is very important to be kept in your mind. Auricle means here it looks like the ear. Auricle means ear. It resembles with the dog's ear. So in that way, the name has been given as a auricle. Auricle, what is the significance of auricle here means? Point number one here, right auricle will be having inside, the atria. If once internally, see, when we talk about atria means I am talking internal structure of the heart with respect to the atrium. Then we can use the word here atrium. In the atrium, you find the posterior surface will be smooth and anterior surface. See, anterior surface of the right atrium will be having a muscular ridges. We say muscular ridges, which is made up of what we call we give the reference, we give the name for this is what we call a pectinate muscles. We say pectinate muscles, and here you find it will be there on the anterior surface of the atrium also. So, and that means here what is auricle means? Auricle is nothing but extension of the, this is an extension of the atrium. And you find from outside wrinkle-like structure, a pouch-like structure, which we call as a auricular appendix or auricular appendages. Right auricle. Likewise, you find the left auricle. In right auricle, here you can say that presence of pectinate muscles. You find the pectinate muscles. Pectinate muscles present on the anterior surface. See, if once you take any hollow structure, this will be the anterior surface, back side will be the posterior surface. Inside also you have to assume in the same way. See, the anterior surface, this is a wall. This is the anterior surface. Inside of the anterior surface. If the wall is like this, this will be the posterior surface. And inside also is the inner side of the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface, this is the anterior surface. Assume this is a heart. So, if once you take the right auricle or right atrium, inside of the right atrium, you find the pectinus is a rough surface will be there in the right atrium. Rough surface. That rough surface is due to the presence of pectinate muscles. This is present, what you call here, that means anterior surface. Posterior surface is smooth. And is an extension. This pectinate muscles is present in the right auricle, anterior surface as well as the towards the surface also, pectinate muscle in the right auricle. That gives appearance of like we say that's the reason appendicular auricular appendages or auricular appendix. No, here let's understand the function also. Why this? What is the significance of auricle means? Right atrium receives the blood from the precaval veins and postcaval veins and coronary sinus, and it facilitate in accommodating or the blood when it received, it allows the blood to occupy more blood in the right atrium, because this is a receiving chamber. Atriums are the receiving chambers, right? Right atrium will receive the blood from that I will discuss when I take up in the internal structure. But understand time being right auricle here. The significance is to accommodate more blood. That is the significance of the right auricle. Now, if once you look at here, this is this I call as superior vena cava. This is a superior vena cava, and here you can see that this is about inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Say otherwise, for inferior vena cava, I can use one more word, postcaval vein. This is for superior vena cava, precaval vein. These are the great blood vessels of the heart. Superior vena cava and these blood vessels. Precaval veins, and of course this is the aortic arch. This is aorta. And you find this structure, okay. Before that, we understood this coronary sulcus. First, let me complete this one. Coronary sulcus. Coronary sulcus. This is a deep groove in which coronary arteries and veins are lodged into this coronary sulcus. Or we can say sulcus is a singular, sulci is a plural. So, in these grooves, coronary arteries and coronary veins are lodged. I will take up that coronary circulation separately here, and you find this is the aortic arch and this is a pulmonary arch. Pulmonary arch. See, in between this, at the branching point of this pulmonary arch, you find there is a ligamentum here. This ligament, which we call as I call as ligamentum arteriosum. Ligamentum arteriosum. So this is a remnant of the ductus arteriosus. So this ligamentum arteriosum is a remnant of ductus arteriosus. What is ductus arteriosus? Ductus arteriosus is a small blood vessel that connect between the aorta and the pulmonary artery. What is its function? It is rudiment, or it is non-functional in the adults. Is a vestigial part in the adult. In the fetus, this is of because since we know that the fetal life, in the fetal life, lungs are non-functional. So to prevent the flow of blood to the lungs, this ductus arteriosus, this is a small blood vessels which shunt the blood from the pulmonary artery into the aorta. That means it will prevent the flow of blood into the lungs. That is what is that? Ductus arteriosus, right? And you find here this become that means to bypass the lungs, to bypass the pulmonary circulation. That is a function of ligamentum arteriosum. Ligamentum arteriosum, otherwise called as, or ligament of Botello, or Harvey's ligament. This is a different terminology we use for the ligamentum arteriosum. Now you see here this pulmonary arch divides into the and this I call as a right pulmonary artery, and this is left pulmonary artery. And here you find the aortic arch. This part I can say this is the ascending aorta. This part is the ascending aorta, and here the aorta has got we say is a left systemic arch. This is here. We say this is a brachiocephalic artery. Brachiocephalic artery, and this is a common carotid artery. And this is left common subclavian artery. And this is a left auricle. Now we will come back to the left auricle. What is this left auricle? Left auricle, see, these aortic pulmonary artery, right and left artery, it reaches to the lungs for exchanging of gases. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. Exchange of gases takes place here, and bring back the oxygenated blood through the pulmonary veins. These are the pulmonary veins. This is two left pulmonary veins. Likewise, you have here, these are the two. It goes through the back side. We say this is of left. This is a left pulmonary veins. This is a right pulmonary veins. So these are the facts, and here you find the groove. See this groove you call as a interventricular sulcus. In this interventricular sulcus, which form this sulcus is nothing but the groove in which the interventricular, the branch of arteries and coronary arteries and veins lodge into the interventricular sulcus. So this is apex of the heart. So this is all about your the external structure of the heart. Now we'll talk about the internal structure of the heart. So the coronary sulcus is a transverse grooves which lodge here. It lodges the coronary arteries. And towards the posterior part of the heart, you find a coronary sinus. Coronary sinus is a thin wall blood vessel. This thin wall blood vessel is without muscle. Important. See, coronary sinus is a thin wall blood vessel without smooth muscle. So this is all about your external structure of heart. Well, see, this is a superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, right and left auricles, and these are the this is the right ventricle, and this is left ventricle. And this left and right ventricles we can able to observe by the boundaries that which looks like a groove or sulcus. Here interventricular sulcus is a mark, or it indicates a partition here that divides the right and left ventricles. Interventricular sulcus is a groove in which you find the coronary arteries will pass through these grooves. So this is all about your external structure of heart. Ligament. Okay, now cut karo. And as far as aorta is concerned, you see this is ascending aorta, and this is a descending aorta. So this systemic arch includes here. See, it shows three openings here. One is the brachiocephalic artery, common carotid artery, subclavian artery. So this ascending aorta followed by the descending aorta. This descending aorta on the back side of the heart. So this will become the descending aorta. So aorta behind the heart, it passes through that, and here descending aorta divide into thoracic aorta and what you call abdominal aorta. From there again it divides into branches, iliac arteries, and it divides and redivides. From here division takes place, descending aorta, then thoracic aorta and abdominal aorta. So this is all about your external structure of heart. One more point here, that as aging process takes place, here the fat deposition is gradually increases. Because of this deposition of the fat takes place in the epicardium of the heart, which makes the heart slippery. So the deposition of the fat depends on various factors, even the intake of fat, but otherwise you find the fat deposited on the external surface of the heart. That means it protects what you call the external coronary arteries. Right.